All right, good morning, guys. Wait, see if anybody shows up. Clean up a few things right here before we get started. Not real good at doing computer stuff, so bear with me. Hey, Juan, can you hear me okay? All right. Good morning. Got a couple packages over there. No, up to it. Came in the mail over the week for this project. I'm gonna try this for about an hour. See how many people show up. It's kind of a dropped right in, but it's unfortunately how I have to do it sometimes. Once I get set up here, I'll try to figure out a better camera angle. Morning, Juan. Are you still in here? Morning, Mater. How you doing this morning, Mater? A little warm in here. Let me adjust you guys a little bit here. All right. Sorry about that. Trying to do too many things at once here. Let's see. Got the wrong camera on. Let's see here. Can't. I'm having a little bit of a camera issue. Give me a second, guys. All right. Let's see here. Not sure why the camera is doing what it's doing, but we're going to run with. There we go. Found it. There we go. That's the camera I wanted to use. Move things around. I think I bumped the cord on the camera. There we go. Let's get rid of what we're not going to use. Stripping down these strip trees, just to use what we're going to use off of them. Get rid of everything we're not going to use. Throw it into the pile of, maybe this will be useful later where this came from. I've decided I'm going to set up the front end on this and check my rake and trail on my frame to see if I need to change it a little bit for what we're going with. So I do have some other parts that came in over the week that we're going to open up today too and see what we can do with them. These oysters are a mess to get apart at the top, electrical part. Pulling off the brake caliper right now. You guys cannot see this in that angle. Morning, Ray. How are you doing? My scrap guys live in the neighborhood come by and pick up scrap and during the week on trash days. Love my house. My stuff lasts out there about 10 or 15 minutes and it's gone. And that's just the stuff that I choose not to keep. But using this for a mock-up and I'm trying to get everything extra out of the way. Which is choosing to be a chore. Added a toolbox, so your drawers open and close, and I've been moving stuff around. So this is from another bike that we just ripped the front triple tree out from because I needed a front end to set up to set the rake and trail and Frankenstein. It is definitely coming out to be something different. Did some checking on some forms and stuff, and buying tools. Didn't even drill that one. Did some checking on a couple of forms and stuff, and well, I usually don't Google and believe in the stuff when I'm doing it mechanically stuff, but there's one fork slider. Take it out. All this suspension stuff everybody's doing. This isn't the exact same, but that is how the Front forks come out on larger bikes also. I'm not a big suspension guy. A lot of stuff I ride is hardtail springers. There are a couple tour bikes over there. Those are the daily riders, but I definitely prefer the old school chopper stuff. It's a lot of fun. There's all the trash. I'm trying not to spend it. This one I'm trying to do a little different, a little bit on a budget, because I honestly don't know if my plan is going to work. So I don't want to throw a bunch of money at it for it not to work. If it does turn out, it's going to be really cool. But like I said, if it doesn't turn out, I don't want to have a bunch of money tied up into it, because then I got to make it work and I got to keep throwing money at it so it works. So that is what I'm trying to avoid. So now we're going to go over to this box, and not quite yet. Let's continue to figure out why the trip. I'll check the chat here in a second as soon as I get this apart. Sorry, guys. It's hard to do this style, and I don't like editing, so few of my videos, I just don't have a ton of time. I like to spend my time out here doing this stuff, so I brought you guys along. Rogan didn't help on that scenario. And there's the other slide. Or the trash file. Break time, let's check out the chat. Nice, yeah. We did the little bit of the Christmas stuff today, and we're gonna get out. It's cold here, yeah. Today it's warmer. It's supposed to be up in the 50s, but I didn't turn the heat on out in the shop, and it is still about 40 degrees in here. But I kind of like it in the cold. I had the heat on earlier, and then I was like, you know, it's supposed to warm up today, and I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time out here today. How's the weather down there, Ray? Just do a little bit of cleanup here before we open up a box and see what's inside. So we're organized and ready to go for the next step. It is getting warm in here, though. I definitely overdressed for today. I'm gonna go up north and probably see my daughter today, later on, once everybody gets up and around. Very nuts, full spacers. There are big doors. There they are. Three, that goes in that. That's the axle. I'm not going to use that. Lock washer. I also got another package. It's in the house. I probably won't open that right up. Maybe I'll do it later on for the mail call. I'm actually not sure what's in it, so it's kind of like Christmas. Hey, Mater, you should go over and check. You should check out Ray's Moto Life site too if you don't follow him yet. He does some pretty good lives. I know you like the lives also. Got to put my handy dandy fit everything size. I made the mistake this morning getting on a few sites, checking out anything, seeing if there's any more deals out there, and I've decided that number 13 bikes is kind of an unlucky number, so I'm going to take a look at a couple other projects that I found. Daughter and her boyfriend came over last night and realized that we're gonna have some bikes to ride with here. So I didn't want to call it coffee time because I'm not a big coffee drinker. I drink energy drinks, Starbucks thing. Never really been a coffee fan, so. All right, let's see what's inside the box. This box here comes to us from Vintage Bike, right here in Michigan. So let's open her up. I do know what's inside. I need to talk to the guy because I was looking for this. Styrofoam. I hate styrofoam. It makes such a mess. And there is a mess. Forgot who brought this. I believe, yeah, UPS. You know, UPS can be so gentle. Here we go. All right, let's see if the rumor is actually true. Spacing is the same. By golly, I think that this plan might work a little bit, guys. We might see this might work out. All right, so I have not taken one of these apart before, so it's going to be a learning experience. Look at that. Would you just look at that? All right, there we go. My wife definitely does think that I have a motorcycle problem. She definitely discusses going to a meeting or finding a sponsor, but I think she's in a serious moment of it. I don't think that it sounds joking when she says it, and I laugh, but I honestly think that there is a lot of seriousness in her voice when she says, "My problem is real." I do believe that everything's loose already. Uh, this front end is off from a 1988 Honda 400 or Honda 600. I'm sorry, dirt bike. The length of what I'm looking for is right in this, in the, apparently the fork tubes work. I kind of called bullshit on it when I first seen all the posts and the other people have tried it. And then there's only one way to find out sometimes. All right, so this is going to be all right. There's one. There's two. The not used. So yeah, I don't want to have a ton of money in this. Like I said earlier, if it doesn't work, if my plan doesn't work, it's one of those things where you, once you're committed, you just have to keep it going to make it work. So, although I'm not going to give up easy on it either, so that's not something I'm into doing. I do like to try to make it work. So, I think it goes that way. No, wait. It goes that way. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna see how this works out. Um, are you, Ray? Are you going to the Cycle Showcase show in St. Louis this year? This is not a Legends suspension or a suspension technologies that everybody else is doing. This is just kind of a, let's see what to figure out here. All right, there's that. Now we have a front end. Oops. Now we have parts falling apart. Apparently, you do have to tighten a few things. This is just going to be a test fit. Nice. I've been trying to figure out my rally ideas this year too. This one here is, if this works, I'd like to take it to TNMR. Just well, it's getting to be, it's starting to look a whole lot like fuck this around here because the white stuff comes in and we got to get rid of we got to put our bikes in storage. Can't ride a lot, and I just thought, well, I got a lot of projects and I'm working on one, but wait, why can't we enjoy winter? So, and then I seen something Dennis Kirk put out, buy a beater bike for winter. Well, why not build something that's different and have a lot of fun with it in the winter, but yet make it fun for summer too, like an all seasons thing. They do have all season tires, right? Yeah, I'm going to smoke out. The next one in that comes in after I get this little bit figured out, the next bike I'm working on, it's going to smoke out. My son would like to maybe ride down to smoke out. It is, I think I figured it out, it's about 1,400 miles of riding on choppers. I have figured out that it's hard to video from the chopper because even the stability camera on the GoPro kind of doesn't like it. There's not a whole lot of good places to mount one on there. But that is, I got all winter to figure that project out. All right. Let's open up the other box. Wait a second. Let's trying to decide if I want to put the no, because then we can figure out a ride. The frame isn't going to fit. And this comes to us from Oregon, the Moto Depot. Got rid of the trash. All right, now the next part for Frankenstein, the front wheel. Uh-oh. Something's wrong. So I heard they have a hill climbs in at the TMMR. Motor for this one's sitting up there. I'm still working to get that together. Like I said, this project kind of took a curve over the last week of since my last live of thinking of things, and I knew it was going to be different, and I just decided, well, run what you brung, right? All right, so now we have a Harley Honda Kawasaki front end. And ride height is going to be almost right where it's at. How scary is that? That's actually really cool. All right. Give or take, but I think we're there, guys. Right where I wanted to be at. Can't freaking beat that. So now we can continue on with the frame builds. Everything looks like it's going to work out without having to change a bunch. Oh, I made a mess. Messy shop. All right, let's go back to the chat here. Yeah, so I do plan on definitely being at Cycle Showcase. I've been following it for a while, actually, and got some stuff in the works. I do plan on definitely being at Smokeout Rally. I don't know about a lot of other stuff yet. Those are the two that I definitely plan on. Like I said, TMMR, possibly the Spring Fling. There is a show in North Carolina in January that if I get my shit together, I might make that. If I can keep this freaking ADD brain from buying more projects and starting another project and finishing something, that'd be something. That'd be something. But that doesn't always work out. So I started out the motorcycle life as riding on ice. We used to go to a local lake, and I rode a Sportster 1000 on ice. Is my first experience at motorcycles. Then I went through, and that was fun. I've done about every kind of riding there is. Done some motocross stuff. My dad was a very avid racer when I was younger. My dad built choppers. I think I've talked about it before. In our living room, I had a chopper bicycle. By like 6 years old, I think I was riding a chopper bicycle that was a Stingray chopped out with a Springer front end, stretched. And it's kind of gone on from there. My dad did a good job of teaching me that lifestyle, and it stuck with me. My 2-year-old granddaughter's already been sitting on motorcycles. Says motorcycles quite often. Gets excited when she sees motorcycles. Likes to go to the Harley dealership, any kind of place that has motorcycles. She gets excited about it. So that to me is exciting. I like to share it. All my kids, I have 3 kids and they all ride. It's just something that's good. You get involved in this, and this is a good life. Yeah, so there isn't a lot to do in the winter months. That's kind of what I think is cool about Cycle Showcase. Um, right dead center in the middle of winter. Um, I've done good at my motorcycle shows too, and I like the I just like the environment, and it looks like he puts on a good show. I do like the chopper aspect of Smokeout. Obviously, like I said earlier, that is kind of the bikes I like. There is, I don't know how well this is going to work. Bear with me, guys. There is this chopper that still is not, it's done. It's just not uncovered. And you guys are going to get lost. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Bear with me. I'll be back. I'm froze. All right, I think I switched cameras because I moved the other one. So now let's see if we can get that one up and going now. Nope, it doesn't like me. There we go. Technical difficulties. There we go. Now we're back. That's back to the camera. So yeah. So I'm gonna try to do some chopper shows. Like I said, like Smokeout. Kind of the smaller shows. I don't like a lot of people. Not into the people thing. So like the motorcycles, just bunches of people. I do group rides with people that I can ride with, that I know that can ride. Um, I tell everybody, ride to your ability. If I got to slow down, I'd rather slow down than have you ride above your ability. I'm not saying that people can't ride fast, and there's not a lot of good people out there can ride, but there's a difference when you're riding fast in a group of people inches off from each other's tire. Morning, Toby. So for those of you that are just now joining us, it's been kind of interesting. We did learn that the Honda front slider tubes do fit in the Harley triple trees. We didn't do any suspension technology stuff. We did, I guess it'd kind of be on technology because we went back like, what is 85? What is that? Man, I think it could, they can actually, wow, they can about do everything now. If they're born in 85, they can drink, they can do anything. But yeah, we put a front end of a Honda dirt bike 500 into the triple trees of the Sportster, and it works. Just like all the forums say, and I'm sure there's a million people on YouTube that have done it before, but I had to find out for myself and see if it was going to work for the idea I was going with. Yeah. I do a few bigger rides, but I'm a small group of people kind of person, especially when I'm riding. My wife and me tend to lead a lot. Um, my wife will definitely outride most people that I've ridden with, as far as trusting, and I know her. She's my ride or die. And with my chopper, especially, I've been in some pretty sketchy situations, and she's been beside me, and that's the reason why I didn't have issues, is because she was beside me. She's blocked people from cutting my lane on my chopper because I tend to have to turn wide. I don't know a lot of if you guys have rode choppers, but sometimes turning, especially slow speed turns, get a little sketch. And mine being suicide shift, I got a lot going on at one time, and I don't have time to look around. So a lot of times I go in the corner blind and just kind of let my wife figure it out for me, and I find the spots. She says it's kind of stressful. I think it's enjoyable. Just go into the corner, see where you end up at. We rode to Milwaukee one year from here, and we rode with I think 6 people. I rode my chopper. My wife rode a bagster, a sportster that was a bagger because she is 4'11", and it fit her well. And we hit rain that was like monsoon, I'd say. I mean, I've been through some bad rainstorms, especially being in the Navy. I mean, rain's not that bad, but this was some serious rain going through right downtown Chicago. And I have no front fender. I have a 280 rear tire on this, and the baggers are wanting to follow me. The spray of water coming off my front tire was clearing me. The spray of tire coming off my back tire was clearing the bike behind me and nailing the guy that was behind him. But they wanted us to lead, no windshields, just because they always seem to stick us in the front. I don't know if the guys that are in here have led people in packs of bikes, but it can be a very stressful situation being in the front of the pack. And you don't have to worry about only you or the person beside you. You start to worry about everybody behind you, and it becomes very stressful, especially on my chopper, because I do some roadside repairs, but I also do some repairs going down the road. I physically caught parts of my chopper while I was riding down the road that have come off. I've watched them bounce off the road. It's just, unfortunately, on choppers, you can see the high end $70,000, $80,000 big guy choppers break. Choppers break. If you can't work on a motorcycle and you're riding a chopper, you're going to learn how to ride. You're going to learn how to work on that motorcycle, because it will leave you broke down trying to figure something out. And it could be the smallest thing that's just suddenly shaken off. Yeah, my wife rides a lot, which I like. I prefer it when she rides with me, but she does not like to ride with me. And one morning on the back of a chopper, that was pretty much the end of her wanting to ride with me. She did not like the fender. Morning, Dave. So I have decided that's the route we're going to go with that chopper. Ride height looks like it's pretty close to where it's at. I'm going to have to go pick up a couple parts. Ray, my wife, does not ride my chopper. In fact, I've had a lot of people want to ride my chopper, and I don't have a problem at all with people riding my bike. I'm not that, oh, don't ask to ride my bike kind of thing. I don't let people ride my chopper for a safety reason. I don't. My son has asked me, and it's because it's got a foot clutch, suicide shift, Springer front end, raked out at 40 degrees, and it is a handful. Um, there's been some pretty scary situations for myself on it, and I'm not going to put anybody. In fact, it's to the point where if I was to sell that motorcycle, I would change things before I sold it and let somebody else buy it the way that it is. Um, it is a lot of fun to ride, but I've been riding it for a long time and made changes along the way. So every little change that I made, I was already adapted to riding the bike. So it's not throwing a whole lot of stuff at you at one time and say, hey, figure this out. You know, I learned one thing and then I changed it the way that I wanted to be it. And then as I got it raked out, hardtail, all that stuff, it was all a learning process along the way of that chopper. But to throw that chopper at one person and say, hey, go figure this out. I mean, if you have rode a suicide clutch, but it has a hydraulic remote foot clutch for the clutch, no front brake, and it's just a lot of fun. But my wife has ridden another chopper that we built. Sorry, we got a lot of sirens going by. I don't know if you can hear them. It's the shop with the cop thing today. So there's going to be probably 100 police cars going by my house right now. So, but it's not for a bad reason. If there was that many sirens out right now, I'd be a little nervous. But I do already knew shop with the cop was coming. Oh, hey, Loctite. Wait, Loctite. 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 Yeah, Loctite is my friend. But a lot of times when it comes loose, it's not because the bolt's loosened up. It's physically the brakes and stuff. I mean, I've had stuff break like crazy. Man, I think my neighbors are complaining again. I've got Loctite also in cabinets over there. I use plenty. Loctite is my friend. I ride Harleys. I ride choppers. I've got, I think every color, and it's like crayons for a Marine. You just got to have lots of them. Choppers eat bolts. Choppers eat parts. So I told myself I was going to do this for about an hour. I mean, there's 4 people here. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Like I said, coming out to open up a box, just jumped on live real quick. And I need to go get the rest of my project picked up sometime and get it to the house. I might work on that here shortly. And I might jump back on later. I wish I could give you guys more of a heads up on my lives because I know people are starting to like them. But my shop time is kind of alive. Hey, Toby, you got that backwards. Yeah, I heard it's going to be bad down that way. It's 50 degrees out here, middle of December. I mean, up here, we don't have any snow yet. That's unheard of. So weather's going to get kind of nasty. So it's definitely a go Navy beat Army kind of day. Statistically speaking, I mean, Navy's going to beat Army. My it's gonna be a good time later on during the game for us because my daughter was in the Army. Her boyfriend is active in the Army. I'm in the Navy. My uncle was in the Army. I'm like my grandfather. Both my grandfathers were in the Navy, and my other uncle was in the Navy. I chose the Navy, but we had a lot of fun during the game. So, and no problem, Ray. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, I'm going to cut this one. It's been just a little over an hour. I may get back on later. Like I said, I didn't have a lot to do in the shop, and I don't want to just sit here talking. I want to figure out something. I want to make progress on that build. I really want to build the backbone. That's why I wanted to check out that frame angle for that front end to make sure it's going to sit. Make sure I have to stretch it or change the not so much stretch it, but more change the angle of the neck because I want to check my rake and trail. But I think we're good. We're going to run it. So, yeah, that is for sure. I mean, Army does sleep with their socks on. I mean, their feet are always nasty. So, I just don't think Army ever figured out you got to take the socks off at some point or another. That's why they say take Motrin and change your socks, and you'll feel better. And anybody that's been in the service already knows when you step off the bus at boot camp, whether it's in the Air Force, if you're a puddle jumper and you're in the Coast Guard, hey, it might be the same way. I'm really not sure, but Army, Marines, Navy, once you step off that bus at boot camp, you have already learned how to check your fucking feelings at the door, because if you have feelings, they're going to get hurt. We didn't have feeling cards when I went through. And it was a little bit different. It's by far different than it is now. I did go to my daughter's graduation from boot camp in the Army, and I thought I was going to be more disappointed than I was from what everybody talks about, how easy it is. But I seen a female drill instructor smoke a kid, and my kids were with me, and one of their friends was with me, and it was rather funny. And I said, "Do not laugh. There is not anything funny if you have ever been through that situation." None of my kids laughed, but there was that chuckle situation because of her response. She went to boot camp in Oklahoma. What is that, Fort Sill? I might be wrong on that, but I think it was Fort Sill in Oklahoma. But it might be called something else now. He then went to school in San Antonio and got stationed in Fort Hood, which, even though they changed the name, they can't take the hood out of Fort Hood. Yeah, she was a combat medic. Thanks, Ray. I'm a firm believer in that any able-bodied citizen should serve in the military. And I think that a lot of things in the world would change if that was the case. Yes, she was 68 whiskey. She actually took care of COVID patients during COVID from all over the world, service members that came back. That was part of her service. I joked with her about I wanted to know what the COVID medal looked like for her part of her service. It was a big part. We didn't get to see her for pretty much that entire period because she was pretty much in quarantine for 2 years of her service. So, funny thing about that, Toby, is my daughter wanted to go in the Navy. She actually came home and said she'd already talked to a Navy recruiter, and I was being dad, and I had her talk to friends that were still active, took her to Navy bases, took her to Great Mistakes, walked around the base. I took her on ships. Here, we got a couple ships sites, and I spoke her out of, I completely talked to her out of joining the Navy. Thought I did a good thing. She went in the Army. So I didn't do a good thing. I personally believe out of all of the services, I believe the Army, and they're all dangerous. But I do believe that when you have boots on the ground, you are in a more dangerous situation. So but not everybody gets deployed, but that is an deployed area. Although there is dangerous jobs in the Navy, everything is an industrial area in the Navy normally, and Air Force, it's all dangerous. So it just depends on where you get stationed at and what your job is. And yeah, that's why I said, Ray, I mean, I know everybody can't serve. My son, he can't serve. He severely broke his arm when he was younger, and he wouldn't be able to serve because of that. That's why any able-bodied person should. I just think that it changes people. People would not be so woke, I guess is the way to put it. I mean, once you're in the military, you can get along with anybody. You have to get along with anybody. You don't have to get along with them. You don't have to buddy with them. But even if you're not, that guy's going to have your six. And you could not be friends with that guy, but he's not going to not have your six if he needs to. And that's what America needs, is people that have each other's back rather than people that just want to be against everybody else. Because I served with some people that I wouldn't have hung out with outside of the military or outside of the job, but I'd still have their back if something happened. So that's kind of for a different kind of channel. I mean, I'm military to the core, but I try to change the difference. So, but I am gonna jump off here. It's been an hour and 15 minutes, and I've run out of boxes to open. I do have a package inside to open up. I might open that up later on. I think it's some shirts, but I want to leave here, go pick up a project, bring it back, maybe get it set up in the shop, start ripping at it, because I can't go any farther until I get more stuff for that one. But the second part of that, the back part of it is pretty cool, and I might bend the backbone later, and like I said, I'll jump back on later. So for now, you guys all have a good Saturday. I'll try to give you guys a little bit of heads up before I come back. Thank you all for watching. Please hit the like if you haven't already.